started bands when we were sort of 12, 13. We were dreadful, as you always are at that age, but I can remember I was actually in a band with Matt Keane from Bring Me the Horizon.
All right, okay.
But he went to my secondary school.
Yeah.
3 years older, and he expressed an interest in the instrument, and he played back around having a rehearsal with Matt at my mum's house. Within that time, I were a building surveyor as well. It's not like I weren't doing music, but I was doing music for the wrong reason. Not playing bars, and I mean, we're earning quite a lot of money just playing covers. I can't tell, and I tell people now, I used to do a covers gig, and I had this kind of depression after it. Music was always something that I ran back to, and I think even I tried to veer away from it within my life. I've always gone back to it, and I think I've accepted now it's got to be a part of my existence, and if it's not, I'm not going to be happy. Me too.
For those listening at home, today's guest has been making huge waves in the music scene since 2022. You might have seen him at Glastonbury last year, or more recently on tour with Chesney Hawkes.
That was good, man. That were good, that were memorable. Really memorable.
He's been branded South Yorkshire's Springsteen, and I can't wait to get into it. So welcome, Sam. How's it going?
It's good. I'm good, mate, yeah. Glad to be here.
So straight into it.
Yeah.
I read in an article that your mum used to play Springsteen songs around the house when you was growing up.
She did, yeah. Amongst other things, it's Springsteen, R.E.M., David Bowie. The Springsteen thing came from a song that I put out in 2023, a song called Balloon, and it's still one that we play live, and it's still one that fans really want.
Dubbed your Born to Run, I believe.
Yeah, well, I said that in an interview, but it was like the instrumentation on it and stuff. There were references, but do you know what I mean? It wasn't as obvious as you'd think, but yeah, and from that's where that kind of came from, and I'm just running with it now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So take us back to the start. Paint a picture for us, because you're from Sheffield originally, aren't you?
I'm from a town called Mexborough, which is sort of in between Doncaster and Sheffield.
Yeah.
To uni in Sheffield. I started doing a lot of open mics and gigs in Sheffield in my 20s, but then it kind of teetered off. But I was always kind of based around Sheffield, yeah.
Let's take it back before the music. So try and paint a picture for us. What was it like growing up in Mexborough in the 90s, I assume?
Yeah, Mexborough, I still like to visit Mexborough. It's full of characters, do you know what I mean? It's a working class town. Got some great pubs in Mexborough, and I still like visiting. Like I said, I've still got a lot of family there as well. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty normal. There were nothing really stood out as really different from a normal working class upbringing. But I can remember when I got to secondary school, I never really enjoyed secondary school, and if anyone ever asked me about secondary school, it's never a particularly happy point in my life. But what I can remember about secondary school is there were a youth club in Mexborough, and within that youth club, some guys who were working there built a recording studio. And I can remember just wanting to finish school and get to that recording studio. And we started bands when we were sort of 12, 13. We were dreadful, as you always are at that age. But I can remember I was actually in a band with Matt Keane from Bring Me the Horizon.
All right, okay.
But he went to my secondary school.
Yeah.
3 years older, and he expressed an interest in the instrument, and he played back around having a rehearsal with Matt at my mum's house in Melton Street in Mexborough. Yeah, I think I must have been 12, he must have been about 14. We were in a band called Sight for Sore Eyes. And he's obviously gone on to do spectacular things.
Well, you're well on your way as well, mate. So, was your mum and dad both there growing up?
No, I grew up with my mum. I still see, there was no animosity between my mum and dad. There were no broken homes, just I grew up with my mum.
How it is, yeah.
So really close with my dad and his partner. Yeah, but music was always something that I ran back to, and I think even if I've tried to veer away from it within my life, I've always gone back to it, and I think I've accepted now it's got to be a part of my existence, and if it's not, I'm not going to be happy. I need to be around it.
So, you know, growing up listening to Bowie and listening to things like Springsteen, what was the catalyst for you actually thinking, I want to pick up an instrument, I want to start learning and singing for that matter as well?
I mean, while my mum did play them records, that wasn't the kind of stuff that I was into. Like, I can remember when we first grew up and my friends at school, we were into like new metal and grunge and things like that. And I can remember obviously turning into an angsty teenager at sort of 13, 14. And, you know, Kurt Cobain speaks to angry teenagers and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was Nirvana. And I think because when you listen to Nirvana and you hear how accessible the riffs and things are, they're pretty easy to pick up. And I was self-taught on guitar, and that's self-taught on piano as well. But because the riffs and stuff were that accessible and easy to learn, it kind of moved me along and give me the encouragement to carry on. I wouldn't say I'm a particularly skilled guitarist or pianist, but I can do enough to get by.
Yeah. It's all you need, isn't it? Look,
that's it. And my writing comes from a place of melody and really basic chords, to be honest with you. And yes, it's always back in that. Nirvana's just basic. Do you know what I mean? It's so basic, and
it resonated with a lot of people. I wonder if it's because, you know, that Seattle grunge, like, it rains a lot in Seattle, you know, and I wonder if some of that, if it resonates with us, particularly up here in the north, like, I wonder if there's an element of that, you know.
Possibly. It's like, there's like, especially in the lyrics I'm writing now, there's like a determination and stuff that you can hear in how the vocals are delivered and the lyrics and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to give in kind of thing without being too cheesy. And I suppose that goes back to the sort of the Bruce Springsteen kind of vibe as well. Do you know what I mean? He's from that working class, blue collar background. And yeah, definitely. There's links. There's always links within music, definitely.
It was brilliant songwriting, eh?
Yeah.
I love Springsteen growing up. Yeah, I thought it was great. So, before committing to music, I read that you was a building surveyor. And if I'm right, it was 2022, wasn't it, when you decided you was going to sort of launch your music career, wasn't it? Am I right?
Yeah, it was.
So what happened there? Because that, correct me if I'm wrong, that's considered quite a good job, isn't it? Quite a lucrative job. So what was the catalyst for that? What made you think, fuck this, I'm going to jump into music head first? Because it was clearly the right decision, and you must have done it with some sort of, you know.
There were a lot of moving parts to that decision, but I think, so when I left school, it was sort of 16, 17, got kicked out of sixth form. So I went to music college first. I went to RCAP in Rotherham. Bring Me Horizon link as well. Lee Maylia were in the class next to me as well from Bring Me the Horizon. And RCAP, I never really got on with it, but I did learn some fundamentals of pop music in that 1 year that I was there. But I dropped out. I had no direction, and I ended up working as a roofer's labourer for a couple of years. Then my uncle decided that I had a bit of a brain on my head, and he kind of put me through a college course. And I kind of just fell into the surveying. It weren't like, it weren't a decision that I wanted to do. But I think I got offered a job that were about 20 grand, and I was 20-year-old, and I thought, well, Donald Trump, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of fell into it, and then, I don't know, when I've put my mind to something, I've always seemed to, do you know what I mean? If I do apply myself to it, I can. And I did quite well in that company, but I did it for about 10 years, and then I think I got a couple of promotions, and then they turned around one day and said, you're getting made redundant. And it's like, well, that's a big fuck you, ain't it? Yeah, and there were a few things happened in my personal life that weren't great, and I just, the COVID happened as well, so do you know what I mean? There were, like I said, there were a lot of moving parts, and
it all came to a head, all boiled up to a head.
That's it. And it's like, within that time, I were a building surveyor as well. It's not like I weren't doing music, but I was doing music for the wrong reasons. I was going out playing bars, and I mean, we're earning quite a lot of money just playing covers. I can't tell, and I tell people now, I used to do a covers gig, and I had this kind of depression after it. It just felt wrong.
Selling yourself out.
Yeah, it felt awful, and it felt, I mean, it was great that, I mean, I invested some of that money quite wisely, which has helped me out big time now. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, because being a musician's not cheap. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, tell me about it, mate.
I invested that wisely, and it's allowed me to do. Do you know what I mean? Spend the money properly, spend the money on proper producers, and give the music. Because if you're gonna do your music, people ask me what should I be spending your money. Your music's the first thing you need to spend.
Yeah.
And it's like I was speaking to a band the other day, and they said, "Well, how much should I be spending on a single?" And they told me a figure. I says, "You're not going to get anywhere with that." Do you know what I mean? It's like if your songs are that good, invest the money in them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the studio next week. Well, this week, starting Saturday at Chapel Studios. Great place. Can't wait to go. But we're paying $5,000. We've got 5 days there, but obviously some of that's going to be for mixing time.
Yeah. And you've got to work with producers as well. It's like you can go to a studio and you can pay 250 quid and you can work with an engineer, but an engineer is not a producer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to have a producer in there. My music really started to get better when I had somebody to bounce off.
Yeah.
Music, 100%. And
Are you locked in with the producer now then?
I work with, on the last EP, I worked with 2 different producers. So there's tracks by 2 different producers. And I built really good relationships with them both. The one that I'm working with, which I might touch on later on, I'm working with a new producer in Sheffield from June. And so I'm going to see how that goes. It's a really big opportunity for us, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice one, mate. See, your single Balloon, we touched on it earlier. Am I right in thinking the brass section was recorded over in Nashville?
Yes.
How did that come about?
So, as I just mentioned, so in COVID, when just before I was kind of planning this release campaign and to start releasing my own music, in 2017, I went to a studio called Steelworks in Sheffield. And I was working with a guy called Aidan Thompson. He was in a band called Alvarez Kings, and they did really well out in America. And he met a girl and he moved out there. But Aidan was the first guy that I felt really comfortable working in the studio with. And I'd always had like a basic setup at home with a MIDI keyboard and some basic microphones and stuff. And I sent him a song one day and I said, "What can you do with this? If I record everything in my own studio, send it you, what can you do?" And he sent me back. First track we did was a track called Early Morning Rain, which is on Spotify as well. And we did that with basic MIDI drums, so we didn't have a real drummer on that, which is sacrilege, I know. And looking back, I shouldn't have put that out, but I did.
You can't tell me. some of the programs.
Some of the programs now are insane. Yeah, they are genuinely insane what you can get now. But so we did that, and then obviously I was planning that. I think I released 3 songs in 2022, but it were all just dipping my toe in water and seeing what worked, seeing what didn't, and putting stuff online. And the advice that I give to anyone that is just starting out is just put something out. I sat on songs for 12 years thinking this is fucking good enough. I wrong with this. And as soon as I did one, it was like, that were it. I were off and I were away. And that's definitely the best bit of advice. Don't be scared and just put it out. If it's shit, you can put something else out. Do you know?
Yeah.
You learn from your mistakes. And I put, band always turned to me and they said, "I love that song." And I just, I fucking hate that. I hate that. I look at set list and I don't like that. But yeah, Balloon. Yeah, I've lost my trail of thought now. Sorry.
It's all right. Well, I was just going to get on to what was the sort of. I first asked about how did the brass section think.
Oh yeah.
And so, I was just going to ask more in general. How did that song come about? What was the process for writing that song? Where did it come from? Was it something you'd been sat on for a while, or?
No, that one came quite quick, and yeah, we're in a bit of a dark place in my life at that time, and the line "Let Me Float Away." So there's like references to suicide in there and stuff like that. That's why the song's called "Balloon Float Away" and whatnot. And it's like juxtaposed with a really happy, epic like song, but it's like 2 different themes running concurrently. You got the happy music and the really sad lyrics, and yeah, I've always liked that song. And when we play that song live, it's mega. But I can remember when we're doing the brass section, so I could actually see the brass being recorded. So they were videoing it at the same time, like on a live stream. It were awesome. But yeah, the drums were done in Nashville and the brass were done in Nashville.
Yeah. Would you like to do any more collabs like that in the future moving forward?
I would, but I mean, I'm still in touch with Aidan. Aidan, he'll always be a dear friend of mine because of how much he helped me and how much belief he gave me when I was first starting out. But I don't know. I like to be in a room with somebody, having an argument with somebody about a part. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that a good producer you should be locking arms with.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, try new things as well. Yeah,
there should be some friction, some healthy friction.
Do you like the process of recording?
I love it.
You enjoy it?
I absolutely love it. It's my favourite part.
Because I really enjoy it. You know, I enjoy all the elements of it: writing a song, performing a song, recording a song. But there's something about really sitting down with something and trying different guitars on certain parts and different effects and really hashing it out with your mates. There's something really, really, really cathartic about that, isn't there?
There is, and I love the writing process just as much as the recording. I mean, I still do exactly what I did with Aidan, whereas I'll put the full kind of song together, map out the drums, I'll play the pianos, I'll maybe arrange some strings, I'll play the guitars, I'll put a basic vocal down, and then I'll take it to a producer who I can hope will bring it more to life. Do you know? Yeah. I love both processes. I mean, been doing it today in Sheffield. It's what I live for, definitely.
So, in one of your songs, Boy You Fell to Earth, it's a tribute to your son, I believe, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So, it showcases a more introspective side of your songwriting. So, how do you like to use things like fatherhood and other experiences in your life to shape your songwriting? It's
the only song that I've done, and it were actually, we were going to, that Aidan who I was mentioning, that were I suppose I did try and launch the career once in 2017, but I never really had the direction and stuff, and it never really got off ground. But that song,
no blueprint for it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it were. We'd started a band, and we went out to Sam Scherdel and the Fix, and it kind of, I made the mistake of doing it with people who I were really close with, and yeah, it didn't work because I was too familiar with a band and stuff like that, and it kind of just fizzled out and died a death. But the Boy Who Fell to Earth were a track from those kind of sessions, written very, very quickly. It's got some lovely chords in there. Couldn't tell you what they are, but I know how to play one piano.
Do you prefer being sort of the leader of a band? Do you, like you said, with some of your songwriting, you'll map everything out and then take it to the producer? Is that how you kind of prefer working? You couldn't see yourself as somebody fronting a band. It's more Sam Scherdel and his band. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that how you?
Without sounding like a complete wanker, yeah.
No, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's how it is for some people.
Yeah.
It's how it is, and it works for some people. Like,
if
my singer turned around and said, I want to be the leader of this band, it wouldn't work because we've not set up in that context. But for someone like yourself, you're the singer-songwriter at the end of the day, aren't there? And it's up to you how you put your songs out.
I've always, I do a lot of the work initially. So but I have built, particularly now, an extremely good and competent set of musicians around me. But I think that there's a couple of the band that do like to be involved in the sessions. There's a couple that aren't really that particularly good, but that's not a bad thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just happy to go out and play live. And but we've had some good. We had the last song we did, 3 of us went down. We went down to Brighton and If We Danced in Salvation Studios.
Great tune.
Yeah,
is your latest single in it?
Yes, yeah, that came out in February. We're just about to release.
I like the video as well. I like that old sort of noughties camera style.
Yeah.
It's good track, mate. Good track. I'll link it in the comments.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I've lost my trail of thought again.
Sorry, mate. You're saying you just went to Brighton to record If We Danced. So sorry, with a band there, and the band had a
particularly Luke on guitar. He had a lot of involvement. He made up the guitar solo to that track basically on the spot as well. It just came out of nowhere. I think he had an idea for a part. And that's coming from working with a good producer. Well, we're working with Gab Moran. He was working with editors, Robert Plant. So do you know what I mean? He's got a good, solid CV. And yeah, it's inspiring to be around people like that. And they had some amazing gear in Salvation Studios, like some proper good gear.
Yeah, but there's a band local to here. They actually did the first podcast of mine called Kid Spirit, and they went down and recorded a live EP at Salvation.
Really?
It sounded incredible. Yeah. I've not been to Brighton. I'm off myself in May for the first time. So
places, Brighton.
Yeah, looking forward to going down there.
I'm looking forward to leaving by the time I'd been there 3 days. It's really, it's a bit too crazy.
Is it really? Ah. So, I mean, in your short time since you've been going, mate, you've done some impressive stuff. You know, I mean, off the top of my head, you've played Rev and the Makers, Two Door Cinema Club. Yeah. You did two sets at Glasgow last year. The Lead Mill as well. You sold out the Lead Mill, didn't you?
Near just about. Only the small room.
We'll go with sold out.
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously growing up in that area, it must feel pretty mad going from attending gigs at the Lead Mill, and you went to Glastonbury as well when you was younger, I believe, didn't you?
I went to Glastonbury every single year, bar once from when I was 14. Yeah, I was 14 the first time I went, and I'd missed 1 year. And yeah, sorry, do you want to start?
Oh, mate, no, nothing's carry on.
Yeah, so I've been every year since I was 14, and yeah, that were a particularly class moment to go down there and play. I only did a couple of solo acoustic sets, but we did some stuff for the official radio station and stuff like that, and it just made me want more. You have these things, and then it's like, well, I want to do that again. Can't rest on your laurels.
Yeah. You live for them moments, so as a musician, don't you? I've said it a couple of times on the podcast, but last year I played at Belladrum Festival in Scotland, which is like their Glastonbury, festival. And we had AAA passes, so it was just go wherever we want, And the Future Head was playing, and I just went and watched them from the stage, side stage. Just little moments like that as a musician. You think this is what it's all for, just random little bits like that, and meeting different people. And
first time we did that were at Ocean Colour Scene last year, and we had a bit too much to drink, but it was like we were, do you know what I mean, stood next to Steve Craddock, and it were crazy. Yeah, that were another. There's been. We want to be out there playing and meeting people. Do you know what I mean? This is what we love.
What have you got coming up? What gigs in the near future can people look forward to?
We just finished the tour cycle now, so we're going to be announcing another tour for September/October, and that'll be getting announced pretty soon. We've got a couple of festivals that we're doing this year, but this summer's kind of focused on getting this next EP ready to getting it in ship shape, and we're started doing the pre-production side right now. We're in rehearsals all through May, and then in the studio in June, and then hopefully start releasing that really look in September.
Yeah.
That tour starts.
Well, if you need a band to support on the tour, mate, me and my boys will fill in.
Nice one.
But I mean, I feel like the music scene's thriving at the moment. I really think it is, particularly like in Yorkshire as well. Bands like the Raytons absolutely smashing it. Bands like the Rosa Docks doing really well. Like, what's your perception on music at the moment, particularly guitar music? The genre we sit in. But
yeah, it's very healthy, but none of these guys are doing well. We are grafting extremely hard. It's like you take the Rosa Docks for example. I mean, they've been going, I think I might be wrong, but it's sort of 2017, and they've had that resilience to keep going. And I think that finally, all these years later, having that little breakthrough, I think it came a bit quicker for the Raytons. You've got to respect everything they've done with the marketing and stuff like that. It's genius.
Great, It's unbelievable. That John Fury video is one of the best promos I've ever seen.
So I were in the gym where they filmed that.
Was you?
Yeah. I know we've got a mutual friend called Jimmy Harrington, and when we released the EP, I went to saw him and dropped him an EP off, and he showed me around. Yeah, when they did that. But yeah, it's none of it's come without hard work, but it's all come from that DIY ethos as well.
Mm.
No one's needed labels, and if you do it right and you look after your fans, you got to remember your fans are the ones, the reason that you're there. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, they've done it really well. Just them, there's loads doing it really well, but yeah, the ratings are the kings.
The way they've managed to curate a fan base, like people would die on that ratings hill.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's hard to do that.
I've seen footage from the European tour, and it's like, I know we know a lot of the same people. And I told a lot of friends on Facebook, they're all travelling to Paris and travelling all around Europe, and it's like, that's mad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I played at the New Adelphi last month for Summits.
It's a venue.
Yeah. It was an all day. It was really good. Lad called Ellis Moore put it on, MA Promotion.
I know Ellis.
Shout out Ellis. Yeah, he's a nice lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
But the Rosa Docks was on that actually.
Yeah.
They closed that out. But there was a group of people there. There was a couple of them was from Grimsby who kind of know of, you know. But they was there with this big group, and they've been following the ratings round.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think last week or something, there was off like 2 dates in Europe, you know. Fucking crazy, innit? People travelling, following everywhere. Who's some emerging artists at the minute that you really like, who you've got your eye on?
I really like Pablo Carrizo from Hull.
Yeah, Pablo's good, isn't he?
Yeah, Pablo came on my radar last year. I did an acoustic gig, and I can always remember saying to him, we did a lot of gigs early last year, and then I went out with an acoustic, and I did some like small bar gigs, and I asked Pablo to support me, and he turned up fucking late, and I went, you can't be doing this, lad. You need to, put your ideas up, and I think he's working with Ellis, isn't he? And I think he's been in studio with. I think he's been in with Miles from the Rosadocs as well, and I really like. Well, his single that he put out is far too fucking long, but it's excellent. It's an excellent song. But I did tell him that. I said it's a great song. It's just 2 minutes too long. But
yeah.
I think he knows that now.
I've not heard it, but live he likes to do. He uses loops and things like that, and he's got his own drum machine and things like that.
Yeah.
Is he translated that to the single? Or because I have seen he was doing some full band stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, the single's a bit more full band. It's called Summer House. It's a really, really great song. Really cracking song, and we're actually supporting him in Hull because he's doing like a big headline. What venue is it? Social.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So the put us as main support to that, but that'll be great. That we supported CVC at that social the other week, and it's a great.
Good venue, isn't it? Yeah.
Cracking venue.
I've played it. I don't know if they're still doing them there, but Dan and Mac from the Sesh.
Yeah.
They was putting on gigs at the social one time, but I don't know if they still are. Maybe under the Sesh.
They are.
Are they still doing under the Sesh banner?
Occasionally, yeah. They're doing Polar Bear as well. Another great.
Polar Bear is fantastic, isn't it?
That was the favourite place that we played on tour. The whole crowd, they seem to love us.
Mm.
Seem to get a better response in Hull than in South Yorkshire. But I don't know why that is, but
they've done something well with Polar Bear, especially. It's full on a Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, it really is full.
Cracking.
But reflecting on your journey from a self-taught guitarist and musician to playing at fucking Glastonbury and tramlines and shit, mate. Like, what are some pivotal lessons? Some things that really stand out from that journey of yours that you could share with the listeners.
I think I touched on it earlier, but definitely just having that bravery to put something out, and most part people are quite kind and forgiving. Do you know what I mean? It's like they know that you're bearing your soul online, and you do get the odd dickhead like putting some naff comment and stuff like that, but just having that bravery and belief in yourself, that's the main lesson, I think. And once you get over that hurdle, you'll find some kind of confidence that builds inside you, and that happened particularly with me, definitely. But another lesson is you've got to treat it seriously. I mean, when we first started and we were first playing some gigs in bars and stuff like that, we used to get absolutely twattered before gigs and stuff like that. And you can't do that. We don't do that anymore. You've got to be on it. You've got to bring your A game. And particularly for me, my singing style as well, I can't play gigs drunk. Do you know what I mean? It don't work. Got to be on it, and you've got to apply that to everything. And yeah, we probably learned that the hard way, but you got to enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself after the gig. That's what definitely.
Yeah, you're dead right. I mean, everyone's done it, and
Yeah.
got too pissed and played. Just a bag of shit in it.
Fucking low.
For some people, it really works. Then.
Yeah,
For some people,
it does, and I think if you got that punky kind of edge and stuff like that,
you've got to be able to act.
you'll get away with it. But the kind of stuff that it's kind of, I like to be polished. You know what I mean? I like the music to be polished. I like the live show to be polished, and yeah, can't be getting Iggy popped out your face.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Iggy on the pot.
Yeah.
Brilliant, mate. So what can people look forward to in terms of release? You said the EP is coming out later on in the year. So what sort of timescale on that?
Well, we've got a single that we're going to put out first weekend in July. But that's not part of the. That's kind of just we want to put some music out. I try to keep some music rolling out there every 2 or 3 months. I'm still sat on a lot, but we're going in with Richard Hawley's producer, Colin Elliott, Yellow Arch in Sheffield, renowned studio.
Nice.
We're going in there in June, and yeah, that's what we're rehearsing for in May. We're basically going to get everything mapped out, polished, so we can be in and out of that studio quite rapid, and really looking forward to that. Richard Hall is one of my absolute all-time heroes, so to be working with his producer. He's actually his bass player as well, Colin.
Yeah.
He's played bass for him since 2004, I think.
Obviously from Sheffield as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
As well, yeah. Any likely collaborations for the EP? Anything lined up?
Possibly, but I can't say at the minute, but there might be 1 or 2 on the cards, definitely.
Yeah. I'd like to hazard a few guesses. But there, Sam, it's been great, mate. Before we get off, if you've got anything you want to shout out?
No, just keep an eye out for the new music. The new single, I can tell you, is called Colouring My Life, and it's coming July the 1st.
Brilliant. And I'll link everything of yours below.
Amazing.
People know where to check it out. So people, if you've liked what you heard today, hit like and subscribe. And one last thank you to the sponsor of this episode, Docksfest. Thanks, everyone.